What's up, you guys? Slept in today. Don't really have a lot of energy. I was out late last night. Not doing anything crazy, just playing Brawl Stars. But still, I'm tired as hell. About to get the blower out, go up here, and start at the top of the hill, or start right here at the bottom and go up and then back down. Either way, we're going to get the whole property blown today. And yeah, we're going to get out here and get it done. Alright, so you're always going to want to make yourself a starting point and a finish point. In this case, I cut the yard in half from which ways I was going because I'm going in two different directions. And, you know, one good thing about having woods everywhere and natural beds everywhere is that you don't have to spend all the extra time picking the leaves up and hauling them off and taking them to any dump sites. You can just blow them to the trees or whatever have you. Alright, so we got a lot of stuff blown off for the most part down here. We gotta go through. We went over here, did a little thing. In a minute, we're going up to the cottage because she's got guests coming at 3, so we're gonna get the cottage blown off, and then we'll probably work down the hill. I don't know, we'll go from the cottage back down the hill here, and then jump over here, and go back up to the barn, and then we'll come back down here and handle all that. But first things first, I'm gonna stop and get a sip of my water and try and find something to tape up a hole in this hose of the blower so it'll give me some more pressure, and then we're gonna head up there. So I can gas up the blower too, I guess. Being able to blow the leaves to the trees is also a good thing for our environment. The leaves actually feed the trees and the plants in our environment. They can hold moisture and warmth in around the roots of plants and stuff to keep them warm and cozy while feeding them. They turn into compost at the end of it after the bugs come up and do their thing, and next thing you know, boom, it's feeding the tree again, and it's good soil for the tree. So we really like being able to put the leaves in the woods because it's, you know, again, giving back to the world as we take it. Behind this giant cherry tree in your view, there's a holly tree, and those leaves really like to stick to the ground. I'm telling you, they stick to everything. You have to blow a little extra harder sometimes on them to get them to budge. The front yard in this case is never really too bad. It's always the backyard where we're about to get to that's always covered in leaves, and I mean, obviously because it's in the woods, but still, you know, the backyard is always covered in leaves, and it always takes a little extra time and focus to really clean it up back there. But once you do, it looks really good, especially with those natural beds in the middle of the yard. Now, most of these areas are covered in moss, and it makes it really easy to blow the leaves, but the grass will grab your sticks and acorns and stuff, so that's a little time consuming, but it's easy because of the moss. if you got debris in corners or up against walls and stuff, you can easily just aim your blower hose to the wall and it'll blow everything away from the wall. So there's a nice little tip for you next time you blow. Alright, we got the cottage blowing off real good. Got all the leaves where they're supposed to go. Fire pit area out here in the back. I think you all saw the video, but got all these leaves separated into their natural beds. Yep. I'm pretty sure back here is where I found, oh, over there. Oh, this is Kate's grave, and there's a smaller little thing right here, and I'm thinking that would have been like a child's grave. I have no idea. I've tried researching it and looking stuff up, but I can't find anything on this grave. All I know is some woman named Kate is buried here, and right beside it there's an unmarked grave, like maybe there was like a baby. But what I want to know is why is she separate from the other cemetery over there? So, all right, so now that we got the cottage done, we are going to walk down this hill here towards our car with the blower, and we're gonna blow all the leaves off to the side of the road on one side and do one side over here, so that when we get down there, we can grab some gas, get some water, and come back up the other side of this hill. We're gonna do the barn area, and then we're gonna go down there and go through the trail and end up back by the tool shed. So then we can start from the garden house and go toward, the garden, and go towards the pool house and the regular house and all that other stuff, and the lake and all that. So we're about, I don't know, 35% done. It's also very important to clear out the storm drains and all the gutters and stuff like that, because you don't want the water to get all backed up, and you don't want the drains to get backed up, and then you get soggy land and it turns into a giant swamp out there. So it's very important to let them, to clear out some storm drains of all the leaves and debris. In most cases, you can divide it up like I am on the road right here, blowing things to the right where they're going and then blowing things to the left. Makes it easier. Just make sure you're not all over the place and overworking yourself. If you're going to divide it up like that, leave one side to come back to, focus on the other side, and right, so always come up this side of the driveway, do the barn, and then come down the trail, and we'll come back out here. We did that whole other side of the driveway, and did all these areas over here. So all we got is this side, the barn, and we'll come back through this trail, and we'll blow it. We'll come back through from over there and just blow it here, and then when we get here, we're going to end up going back down that way towards the pool house and the main house and the lake and all that. And we'll probably go ahead and do back there too, like we started this morning. And as y'all can see, I'm about to be getting off of my break and going back up there to blow, but all the areas that I've blown before are just gonna fill back up with leaves, because wind blows and critters run around the branches and stuff, and the leaves just keep on raining down. But that's all right. It's gonna ensure more work for me in the future. And always just try to go back and forth in a straight line so you can push this stuff evenly and equally, and you're not just like backtracking all the time. You can go in one direction, blow everything to a certain point, and then come back in another direction and blow it the more of the way, and then go back in the other direction. I just wanted y'all to see what it looked like before the wind started blowing all the leaves to cover it up again. I ended up just trying to blow the path to the little pump house there a while back, and got curious and started blowing another path. Found a whole bunch of golf balls and tennis balls and stuff for the dogs. So I just kept on blowing this path. Alright, so what we just did right there
is the trail we're gonna come back down to get to the tool shed. But I don't know, this is a little tiny trail that I made last year. It's kind of a shortcut to the other trail to get me back down the hill or up the hill quicker. So plus I do love making a good nature trail. I really do. Can't wait to have my own property someday, big enough to cut out a bunch of nature trails and have my own running paths and all that other stuff. So as y'all can see, the leaves are still falling, but we're getting it cleaned up.
This area specifically gets really bad with the acorns. I'm actually going to bring a rake out one day and try to rake the bulk of them away, because sitting here blowing them would just take all day long. There's so many acorns here. The good news is though, we can blow them into the woods and then they can reseed the woods and more trees grow. So every once in a while, I'll come back down this trail and I'll blow off this cemetery, just because it gets real dirty back there, and I don't think people really come back here and tend to it like they're supposed to. Apparently there is somebody who does it, but I've yet to see that somebody do it, and I've done it plenty over the years, and I just like to do it, honestly. Gives me something to do, but it also, I just can't stand looking back here and seeing it so tore up. So I always come back here and at least blow it off, sometimes pick up the sticks.
Came back here and I blew all the leaves off of the cemetery. This is the one of the families of the slaves and all that from back in the day. Somebody apparently does take care of this, apparently, but they never, every time I'm out here, I never see anything cleaned up, so I figure when I get the chance and I have the time, I come out here and clean it up a little bit, because there's no reason why it shouldn't be cleaned up. I need to bring a weed eater out here.
When it comes to blowing off the paths and walkways and trails and stuff, my basic rule of thumb is to make it wide enough for either a golf cart or a vehicle to go through it, depending on what you're trying to do. Now this trail here is the one I told y'all before by the pump house that we went through that little thing in the woods. This is the one that it connects to. You'll see it up here in a second. But that just shows you how it'll take me up there to the top of the hill in front of the barn and the cottage, down here in the woods behind the cottage. That be more steps when you get to your tool shed, which is all the way down the hill, and then the dump is through the woods behind that. So to the left here, that's where the dump is. To the right, that's the tool shed. And so now you see, that's why I put that little trail there. It's a little shortcut to get me anywhere on the property, really. Every once in a while, I'll go ahead and walk the whole trail with a full tank of gas and blow it off. I've actually only done it maybe 2 or 3 times, but I plan to do it again later on this season once all the leaves are down again, so they can walk safely in the trail and know where the trail is and everything. This area to the left or behind me at the moment gets really, really bad with leaves. What y'all are seeing in front of me is just simply from the yard across the way in front of the pool house and the driveway, but the area behind us at the moment is the one that gets really, really bad with the leaves, and I always have to take extra time to do that. And just like anywhere else, you can get these leaves to go in the woods, but you have to really make sure you push them back because they will pile up and become an eyesore. So you have to push them back and get them further back into the woods. Now, this place, this specific spot is her front yard, and it's not even really in the woods like the rest of the property is, but it is also always dumped with leaves.
Well, I ran out of gas doing her back patio, so I can't do around the lake in the patio today, but I can come back in the morning with some gas. We done filled up 4 tanks today. This one was the 5th one, so I guess we filled up 5 tanks, but we're gonna have to come back and do the lake and the patio tomorrow, and the bottom of the driveway, and the back of the pool house, because we ran out of gas, but we got everything else pretty clean. See down there, we gotta do the bottom of the driveway. I don't know if y'all can see it all lined up against the woods. So I got it all organized. Just might have to take a rake over there. We done cleaned up the front of the pool house, so now we still got to do down the driveway, the pool house, that area, and then behind the bushes over there, that field, and then this little spot here. So 3 or 4 small areas and 1 big area left to do. We've used 5 gas tanks today and ran out of gas and running out of sunlight almost, so we're going to go ahead and call it a day and get back at it tomorrow morning. Look at here. See, this is the first thing we did, remember? And there's already leaves everywhere. So now that we have run out of gas and running out of daylight and we worked all day, we're gonna go ahead and come back in the morning and hit the back side of the pool house, the back side of the main house, and the bottom of the driveway, and then we'll be done. But for today, that's a bang. See you guys in the next clip.